Until we see some real DNA evidence provided, I'm afraid there's no hope to ending the mystery as to the children's births and origins. I mean, these kids have just been shrouded in mystery ever since they were born. When the Wales children and then the Cambridges were each born, I'm talking about George and Charlotte and little Louis, there was an official printed announcement from the palace. It was framed and it was set out on display upon an easel in Buckingham Palace. You see, William and Catherine respected royal protocol, so the wording was the standard Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Cambridge was safely delivered of a son or daughter at time of day today. Her Royal Highness and her child are both doing well. And then they follow up the announcement with 4 signatures of the attending doctors and witnesses, and the date of the document was written into the lower corner in ink. It's all above board, it's all out there in the open. It is dated, it is documented with witness signatures, and the official palace stationery letterhead, too. You cannot make something like that up. But when it came to the Sussex kids, the wording of the announcements was quite different. The one for the first Sussex baby, artificial, was announced using these words. The Queen and the royal family are delighted at the news that Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex was safely delivered of a son at 5:26 a.m. today. Her Royal Highness and her child are both doing well. And then they typed the date in the lower right-hand corner, May 6, 2019. It's pretty noticeable that there was no signatory witness or the names of the attending doctors, and the date was typed, it wasn't written in ink. The wording was that the Queen and the royal family are delighted at the news. So that does beg the question, who was it who gave Her Majesty and the family this news? What we're seeing here is Buckingham Palace making an announcement that it was told to announce by Meghan and Harry, and there was no witness signatory. Something smells fishy. The whole thing seems like a sham. I'm just expressing my opinion, of course, and my suspicions on this matter. We're just expected to believe what was stated and never question it or hesitate with a, wait a minute, why is it so different? And then, only a few hours after the palace announcement came out that Meghan had gone into labor, Meghan and Harry went on Instagram to announce the birth and the name of their child. It was a pretty quick birth and delivery, huh? And then we got that videotaped appearance at St. George's Chapel for an American TV network. They were grinning, and they seemed so delighted in their act of invading the palace and the late Queen, pulling one over essentially on both her and the courtiers. I cannot help but get this strange feeling that I am watching an act, not the real event. Of course, I did not get to see the announcement with my own 2 eyes, but I thought that it was a little bit weird when Meghan would not let the Queen's physicians anywhere near her. We already know Meghan loves publicity. She loves to see her name and face in the papers. It doesn't matter how much she says otherwise. And if those children were really hers from her body, I'm sure that she would have done what Princess Diana did by having her child in St. Mary's. She probably did hours of studying Diana's body language, and she would have stood up there on those hospital steps with the baby in her arms and Harry behind her as the cameras were taking photos. She would have had that rictus grin on her face, I'm sure. You can just picture it now. Meghan never would have missed out on that opportunity. So all that information really seals the deal for me. I do not believe Meghan Markle gave birth to those children, if they do exist at all. I'm sure a surrogate gave birth. And as we know, that means they never have the right to be in the line of succession. Meghan and Harry need to tell the truth about this and just get it over with, because really all they're doing is making things worse for themselves. People are not going to let up until the truth comes out. There are just way too many discrepancies. And it doesn't really matter what we read in the media. Not one royal has met either of the 2 children. The palace, I'm talking about royals and courtiers and advisors and household staff, they are aware she wasn't pregnant but used surrogates. Editors of all the UK's newspapers understand they must not write about Markle's fake pregnancies and her use of surrogates. But what I don't understand is, why are we being fed this nonsense? So let's try to answer the question. Does this mean that some kind of made-up, mysterious entity is going to be allowed to marry into another royal family? I don't think so. How about just letting the truth come out once and for all? It's got to. Why are they still using all this smoke and mirrors? Don't the other European royals have a right to understand what the goods are and where exactly the goods came from? I think Meghan is aware of the fact that she's going to lose the titles of the children if they do exist, because she used surrogates. And this can be easily proven through DNA testing. It seems like Meghan is just getting away with whatever lies she tells, and it needs to stop. If she didn't have anything to hide, then why not go ahead and allow those children to be tested? I also wonder if the royal family is maybe viewing the existence of the children like parents view Father Christmas. So maybe they're happy to go along with it until the plug is finally pulled. Because I cannot believe for 1 second that King Charles and his advisors and his aides are really that dumb. I have read some hearsay about conversations that Charles has been demanding DNA tests for those kids. That wouldn't surprise me one bit. And that supposedly is the reason that Meghan Markle will not dare attend the coronation. Now, the post has been taken down, but it showed some supposed messages with screenshots. But whatever it is, the truth will come out eventually, and it's all going to blow up in their traitorous faces. There's going to be shock and horror from people who believe that those kids actually were real and that they actually belong to Meghan and Harry. It is sad. We all know that Meghan would have been selling their photos to the highest bidder by now. She's a parasite. And to tell you the truth, if palace aides had done their job properly and really dug into her past, I don't think Harry would have been allowed to marry that creature, and all this craziness could have been easily avoided. I wouldn't be shocked if it was somebody from Meghan's PR team testing the waters for if the sugars are going to believe that wanting DNA suddenly makes her a victim. I do wish they would put some laws in place for title eligibility that is more modern. I mean, it could fit with current technology and legal standards. That would be an excellent loophole for the palace if something sketchy is going on. Now, word has it Meghan plans to rehash her blog The Tig on or around the date of the coronation, which is just a pathetic attempt to get attention for herself, obviously. The blog was once semi-popular, I guess, before Harry entered the scene, but now it's just going to be made fun of, and deservedly so. I don't believe this Tig reboot is going to go down very well. Nobody's going to care what fashion tips Meghan has, or what cooking and lifestyle advice she wants to share with us. I don't believe Meghan's going to be able to get any sponsorship or support from fashion design houses, or what restaurateur or celebrity chef would want to support her either. Same can be said for lifestyle gurus. Nobody wants to work with Meghan or be associated with her name and her brand because it's all toxic. Meghan's reputation certainly precedes her at this point, and the common belief is that she is toxic to the careers and business interests of the people who could help her. And Meghan has lost all credibility. That's something we need to understand. Once upon a time, she was mentioned in Vogue fairly frequently, but now her name has completely been dropped from all the fashion magazines. Now, Catherine, though, she's still well represented. She is still plenty popular. We also know that once upon a time, Meghan was in a relationship and she lived with a popular chef in Canada. I'm sure who arranged the food and prepared the meals on her blog. Her friend probably created the fashion and used connections for Meghan to wear. Meghan is not a fashionista, and as we have seen, she does not look good in clothing unless she's got many staff members to help her tailor and press the clothes. But Meghan burned all her bridges, so I don't think anybody will be helping her now. And you, do you agree with me? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. If you think my video is useful, please remember to like and share it with your friends and family members who would enjoy it too.